Today we are talking about M&Ms. Let me ask you a question. Are you done with fantasy? Are those stupid sword fights and dragons and magic not enough for you anymore? Do you want everything you do to be scientifically explained without actually making sense? Are you bored of questionable morality and just want to punch bad guys in the face with rockets? Well, guess what? That was 4 questions, but no one cares. Tolkien and Asimov can both go and cry in a corner. It's time for Lee and Moore. We're saving the world, boys! Mutants and Masterminds, 3rd edition, is all about superheroes. Okay, that's it. We can go now! Mechanically, the game follows the good old reliable formula. You want to do a thing, you toss the icosahedrons, add something to the number rolled, and then wait in cold sweat for the GM to announce the result. In this particular game, you only need one of those sweet math rocks, and the complexity comes from the numbers you add to those rolls. And holy shit, this game is complex as fuck! Given that success and failure are gradient, and there are a lot of things you need to add to those rolls, the game has a complex system, which, ironically, makes playing the game way more simple. Your character sheet looks like this, and you might notice that there are no classes, races, or any other stuff like that. Because that's right, you do not just choose 3 things at the beginning of the game and just start going with the flow as everything automatically levels up for you. This time, you make the decisions. And decisions are hard! You get full control over all of your attributes. Like a Build-A-Bear workshop, but with lasers and radioactivity. At the beginning of the game, you get a bunch of points called power points, based on your power level, because everything related to superheroes needs to have power in its name. You can spend these points to level up your 5 different attributes. First off, abilities are your basic non-superhuman traits. Each and every one of these starts off from 0 and can go all the way down to -5 or all the way up to 20. If it goes down, you get 2 power points. If it goes up, you spend 2 power points. I will now present every ability with a metaphor. Screw tomatoes, I like oranges. Strength to crush the orange. Stamina to outrun the orange. Agility to dodge the orange. Dexterity to steal the orange. Fighting to punch the dude trying to take your orange. Intellect to realize oranges are superior in every way. Awareness to notice someone is holding a gun to your head right now. And presence, used to persuade me to keep my metaphors going. Not gonna happen. These scores are basically the same as in D&D, except for agility and fighting. But those actually make way more sense since A, dodging stuff and firing a weapon are 2 completely different actions, and B, fighting being a skill makes way more sense. Shut up! But Scarf Guy, you didn't include all! What are those things called defenses? Well, first off, shut up. Second off, those are your second type of attributes. Your, well, defenses. In this game, there are no hit points. It seems like the whole gaming world agreed that a conveniently placed health bar is stupid. So instead, your enemies just roll against the appropriate defense stat and then look at this matrix, no, not table, matrix, to see how hard they punch you. This means that you can get incapacitated from just 1 hit. And every hit you take gets you closer to getting knocked out by giving you a penalty to defense. You can also upgrade your defenses separately from your main abilities. Next up, your skills, which are, it's the same as D&D, but like without proficiency bonus, and you can upgrade them separately. You also don't get every single one of them. You need to be trained in some. You also have close and ranged combat and stuff with vehicles and technology. And every knowledge skill is grouped to expertise. There are basically infinite types of expertise. You can get expertise in history or literature or squirrels, because why not? Next up, you can get advantages. These are still not exactly superpowers. They just show things you are extremely good at or things that give you an advantage. Wow, we are really poetic today. You can get one for the price of 1 power point. Combat advantages show your fighting style, while skill advantages let you metagame using your skills. Fortune advantages are the lucky bastard powers, and your GM will hate you for using them. Finally, general advantages are things that fit in neither of these categories, like being rich or being fearless, or having a sidekick. You can have a sidekick.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you were all waiting for. The Rooster of Powers and
62. There are only 62 powers in the game.
What?
As you would guess, the game is way more complicated than choose a power, then scatter some points into other stuff. All 5 of your main attributes, abilities, skills, defenses, advantages, and powers need to be in sync with your story. For example, if you want to be a big, strong, dumb brute, you put a bunch of points into strength and stamina, then some physical defenses, then strength-based skills, then you choose your advantages, which also have to match your character. And after all that, you choose your powers, which are actually more like manifestations of your powers and things you can do with them. Luckily for you, the game lets you not only purchase things for your power points, but also vice versa. If you want to be strong, you can compromise presence or intellect. If you want that nice advantage but have no power points left, you can just get it by adding a flaw to your power and giving yourself a kryptonite. There are also some pretty good pre-made characters in the book, but we all know you are not gonna use those because you're special and unique and deserve your own design. After a character creation that complex, the game is actually really fun and simple. You roll, you add the modifier, boom, you're done, the game master describes stuff, turn end. Honestly, the gameplay is really smooth, with a simple turn-based combat and a fun mechanic called hero points that can inspire everyone for more roleplay. Oh yeah, game masters! You are fun! No, but seriously, the game master in this game has to do a lot. From world building to watching over the character creation process, it is an extremely complex job. I highly, and I mean highly, recommend reading the entirety of the Game Master's Handbook, because this book contains a lot of great advice and even a bunch of amazing copy-pastable ideas. An important note here is that you do not have to be scared of cliches this time. Superhero stories are one of those genres where you can absolutely get away with completely ripping off another work if you can make it fun. Just read some comics and decide what you're going for. Galactic protectors, secret agents, teens being heroes in secret, dark and realistic, light and fun, any point in time and space really. A good way of making settings is to take an already existing story and change the context using the word but. For example, I want to play a game that is basically My Hero Academia, but in Victorian steampunk London. That is not a joke. I really want to play that. Please send players. Well, that's about it. Have fun, avoid the FBI agents, and don't watch Birds of Prey, because it's bad.